Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, America's #1 trusted resource for realtors who demand authentic, real-time coaching. Starring award-winning real estate coaches Tim and Julie Harris. Get ready for unfiltered, full-strength honesty about what is truly working to get you into action and make you money in this new real estate boom. Now to our hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
Welcome back to Real Estate Coaching Radio. We are your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris. Julie, welcome to today's radio show.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
And we have a fantastic topic. And you know, it's funny. We are thinking about what to share with you guys today on the radio. And Julie and I were talking this morning on one of our walks. And we realized that we have not presented to all of you one of our favorite topics. And it's always one of the topics we get the most feedback on. It's called our daily success game. This is a concept Julie and I came up with, 10 plus years ago to help our coaching clients. And what this really does is it helps agents to focus in on what they need to be doing every single day that's going to put them in a position to help others and make money. And we made a game out of it. And now existing coaching students, and I know a lot of you listening are our existing coaching students, you need to be making sure you download this from the website and using this every single day. Your coach is being instructed to also help you understand how to use this and also holding you accountable to using it if this is the direction you want to go with your coaching relationship. But the gist of it is that this is a game that you can play every single day. You can play it amongst your mastermind. You can play it amongst your other agents in your office. You can even have your family hold you accountable to this. By the way, masterminds, if you want to get into a mastermind and you're one of our existing coaching students, the best and easiest way for you to do that is find mastermind partners on the Facebook group. So the Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching Facebook group, it's a closed group. It's only for our coaching clients. So if you're in Real Estate Coaching Essentials, Advanced Coaching, or, of course, Breakthrough Coaching, you are going to be given access to that. Now, we're trying to allow us, basically do a controlled release, if you will, of people into that Facebook group because we don't have it be overwhelmed with, over 1,000 people joining at once. So we've sent out, I think we're sending out 100 invitations a week. So make sure when you get your invitation, you accept it. And if you're looking for it, you can always chat our office or call our office or email our office, and they'll give you the code, or just find the code on Facebook and request access, and we'll check to make sure you're a student, and then we'll get you in the group. And like I said, a killer way for you to find role play partners, put together a mastermind, and all that good stuff. By the way, Julie, I just thought of another great idea for a future radio topic.
Okay.
How to form a mastermind. So we could use the principles from, Young Professionals Organization that you and I learned, and we can basically apply it. Yeah, so there you go. So, Julie, before we get to today's topic about the daily success game, and guys, get ready to take notes, and existing coaching students, you can also download the daily success game form from the website. But before we get to today's topic, Julie, anything interesting from your schedule? Because I know you've been on the phone this morning since about 8:30.
Yes. So we are getting to be, rounding out first quarter amazingly, at least in the sense that most agents know what they closed in January, what they've got in the hopper here in February, what they're doing going forward in March. And this is an exercise, it doesn't matter which quarter you're talking about. I think agents kind of go through this any time of the year when they've got a chunk of business they can look at and say, am I on track or am I off the tracks? And so one of the ways that we teach you in coaching to gauge that is to look at what was the goal, which of course assumes that you have a goal and that you did the treasure map and what are you doing this year? Are you shooting for 10 million? Are you shooting for 50 million in volume? What's the plan? And you simply subtract from that the deals you already have closed. You subtract the value of your pendings, the value of your listings that you know will sell, and to the degree that we can say buyers will buy, theoretically highly motivated and qualified, take those off. And you can even count your leads, which you know will close or list with you. And that kind of tells you how you're doing. It's like the vital statistics weekly thing that we do. It shows you where you stand. And an interesting game to play with that is, if I keep doing what I'm doing this quarter for 4 quarters, and my business looks like it did this quarter, what would my volume look like? Am I on track or off track? And you and I used to do this all the time, especially when we'd get kind of frustrated or sitting there with 20 or 30 listings and it seems like things had slowed down a little bit. You take your own temperature and you say, where do I stand? And in most cases, you'll find out that you're doing better than you thought. You were just having a mini panic attack. You're actually on track. You might even be ahead of track if you keep doing what you're doing, for those of you who have been focused and coachable and implementing and moving forward. So that's been a fun exercise for a lot of my calls today, is just assessing how are we doing so far.
I'm still stuck on something you said a little bit ago. You know, it is so true that basically first quarter is done. I mean, in essence, yeah, you might get a few more deals to close in March. Maybe you get a 30-day, buyer that can close quick. But realistically, it's the 11th, and if we're going to close something in March, it's got to be in contract probably in the next, I don't know, maybe week or two. So really, your first quarter is going to be done here within a couple weeks, which is crazy because it just feels like we just put our Christmas tree up. You know, it feels like we just took our
yesterday or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so that's how fast 2015 is already going. So that's a really, really incredible point. Are you on track or are you off track? And if you're on track, obviously, what do you have to do to continue your momentum? And if you're off track, if you're already falling short of what your expectations are for your business this year, you got to do something about it, because if you think the spring market's going to turn your business around, well, then guess what? When that doesn't happen, then you're going to start saying, well, things will pick up in the summer. And then when that doesn't happen, you're going to say, well, then maybe I'll get a few deals ready together for the end of the year. And then what happens is the year rolls over, and you just say, I'll do better next year. That'll be my New Year's, New Year's affirmation or New Year's. What's the New Year's thing? I don't even. What's the things that people say in New Year's? Resolution. Thank you. So your New Year's resolution. And then what happens? Another year goes by, another year goes by. So here's a suggestion for all of you. For those of you who are serious about really making the most of your business, making the most of this real estate recovery, for those of you who are serious about embracing this incredible market for all that it has to offer, do yourself a favor and go to freecoachingcallsforagents.com, freecoachingcallsforagents.com, and get yourself registered for a free coaching call. It is a 30 to 90 minute, just depending on the detail involved, free coaching call with one of our coaches, and you can kind of go through and you'll create the first step of a free coaching call is kind of taking the temperature of your business, knowing where it is currently, and then helping to set a plan of where it needs to go. So freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Of course, you can also find that link on the radio website, which is realestatecoachingradio.com, or on our main university site, which is timandjulieharris.com. So, Julie, I'm super excited about getting to today's topic. Anything else you want to share with these guys before we jump in?
Nope. Take your temperature. Know if you're on track or off tracks. If you're off tracks, figure out what you're going to do about it before the year slips past you.
There you go. All right. So this is called the Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching Daily Success Game. And again, this is something that is exclusive copyrighted content. Existing coaching students, make sure you're using this. So your daily success goal is to earn at least 50 points a day. So, Julie and I had the idea that we should set this up like if you were on a reality TV show, let's say, for example, and every single day, the way you stay on the show, the way you kind of, transcend to the next level is you have to accumulate 50 points every single day. So start out with the premise that you're playing a game and your goal is to earn 50 points every day. The accumulation of real work in real estate is what leads to consistent, predictable income. Remember, you have only worked when you've scored at least 50 points each day. Each item is worth at least 5 points, all right? So again, the premise here is what we want you to do at the end of the day, we want you to have a total of as close to, if not more than, 50 points. But the way you stay in the game is by accumulating 50 points, again, at least a day, every single work day of your week. Now, work days are typically Monday through Friday. Some of you have work days, that are including a day on the weekend. That's fine too, as long as at the end of the week you have an accumulation of, for every day that you worked, 50 points. Now, some of you, I know, are not what would be traditionally called full-time in real estate, so you have to modify this so it suits your particular goal. Every one of the points that we're about to share with you, every one of the 21 things that you can do to earn 5 points are going to be the things that are literally going to put money in your pocket the fastest. And I really want to make it clear to all of you. It's interesting, Julie, there was an Inman article up yesterday that talked about, or recently actually, it talked about the fact that there's a belief that there's an oversaturation problem, which, by the way, we've been talking about for at least, 2 years on the internet. Too many agents running Facebook ads, too many agents doing pay-per-click, too many agents buying leads from Zillow, too many agents basically doing all this passive lead generation stuff online. And so this article came out, and I thought it was very fascinating. Somebody had done this big, long, drawn-out study essentially confirming what we'd been saying, that essentially there's an oversaturation of online lead generation stuff. And I remember very clearly, I remember actually one of the first coaching clients that came out and told me about, Tim, do you hear this? This was back in I don't know, 2007 maybe. Tim, there's this great new website called Zillow, and here's what they do. They advertise other agents' listings on their website, and I get to essentially position myself so it looks like it's my listing, and then buyers call thinking it's my listing, and I get great buyer leads, and this is incredible, this is great, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Alicia, in her market, was one of the first coaching clients in her market to use this, and so it worked great. There was not an oversaturation problem. She was getting real closable business from it. It worked for maybe another year or two, and then sure enough, what happened is what always happens with things like this. Too many people were wanting to subscribe. They were obviously wanting to do as good business people do and try to facilitate, try to essentially handle the increased request and volume of subscribers. So they end up oversaturating the leads. And that's when you guys start, rightfully for the most part, complaining that the lead quality went down. Now, the lead quality didn't go down in every single market, but in most of the major markets, what happened was a lot of the people that were like Alicia, who are early subscribers to Zillow as an example, they unsubscribed because there were, again, too many, the quality of the leads that they were getting started to diminish. That same life cycle happens with virtually every single product that you can think of. It goes through a natural life cycle where essentially there's the early adopters that are, forward-thinking agents that basically capture the market and, they do well with it. Then what happens is all the other folks start coming in, and by the time the idea has reached its peak, those early adopters are already off to other things. Well, this article was talking about the fact that they believe, peak ad spend online, in other words, the days of online lead generation of being something that agents rely on, is already in the rearview mirror. So what we're starting to see now is agents are searching for other things to do to generate business. And I would say a vast majority of you guys joining us as new coaching students, you've been through so many of these different whiz-bang ideas. You're kind of tired of them. You're looking for something that's going to consistently produce you results. When you work consistently, you're embracing the concept of, spokes on your lead generation wheel. You're getting a lot of the ideas that we've been talking about for, basically over 10 years now. And you guys are now accepting the fact that really at the end of the day, your long-term success comes from doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I know. That's such a fun
and
topic.
And at the highest level, there's three parts to that, not just one.
So Coach Julie, you're telling me I've got to do what I don't want to do when I don't want to do it, and I actually have to get results.
Yeah,
guys,
actually
if there's a secret to success, that's it. If there's a true path to success, it's just not fighting that anymore and just embracing it. So this daily success game, which, yes, I know some of you more tech-minded are going to say, Tim, why haven't you guys made this into an app? And I definitely have that on my radar. So this daily success game concept helps you guys who are serious about your businesses to drill down on the things that are going to put money in your pocket the quickest. All right. Julie, did I do enough ramp-up explaining it?
Yes, very nicely done. And keep in mind that there are not just like 3 things that you have to do and maybe you hate all of them, okay? There's a reason there's 21. Not every agent has the same spokes. Not every agent has the same skill or the same tendencies. So this is kind of like a mix and match. Furthermore, the reason that there's 21 different items that you can score each 5 points for is because you get bored doing the same thing over and over. We know that. We've coached for a long time, and we've done it ourselves. So you can mix and match them. Maybe today you get 5 points because you took a listing today. But you're probably not going to do that every single day. Some of our clients are getting pretty darn close to that, but most of you guys, it's not going to be every single day. So maybe tomorrow you get 5 points by pre-qualifying a buyer prospect using the pre-qualification script. And maybe you've got a second buyer. So the other thing you can do is you can choose any of these categories and repeat them. Okay, so sell a listing is 5 points. Well, what if you sold 2 listings today? Well, you get 10 points. So we've made it powerful, but in a sense a little bit easier on you because you can mix and match and you can choose different things. You can try things you've not done before. But the point is, if you're not scoring 50 points, you're not really working in real estate because there's a lot of stuff that you do that we've done, that's out there. that kind of looks like work in real estate, but isn't actually anything that will ever lead to a paycheck. Okay, so if you're spending tons of time setting up showings, well, that's important, but should you really score the same as you would if you actually took a listing? No. So the things that are on this list lead you directly to more income. That's why the list isn't 500 things long, though there's probably 500 distractions right there sitting on your desk right now. So shall we get into the list, Tim?
And so here are the 21 things that, now, again, in case you guys aren't clear about this, your goal is to get to 50. We're going to tell you 21 things. We're not expecting you to do 21 things, okay? So don't be confused about that. This is not some ridiculous daily minimum standard like no one's ever going to do it, not even a Navy SEAL type thing. For each of these things, you get 5 points. If you do one of these things 10 times, you get 50 points, which means you basically have accumulated enough points that you win for that day. So don't be confused. We're not saying you have to do every one of these things. That's ridiculous. We're saying you have to accumulate a total of 50 points, and you can accumulate 50 points by doing 3 of these activities, but doing them like, for example, point number 1. Let's just get into it. There's 21 ways you guys can earn points. Point number 1, every time you take a listing, it's worth 5 points. You can write this down, guys, and remember this. Again, coaching students, this is already done for you. It's on the website. Point number 2, this is another way you earn 5 points. Sign a buyer to a buyer agency contract. That one buyer agency contract equals 5 points. Number 3, if you sell a listing, even if it sells by a co-op, right, that's worth 5 points. Number 4, put a buyer into contract. That's worth 5 points. Number 5, pre-qualify a seller prospect. Interesting, huh? That's worth 5 points. Number 6, pre-qualify a buyer prospect. That's worth 5 points. Point number 7, Jules?
Point number 7 is set a new listing appointment. Now, obviously, we assume this is a well-qualified listing appointment, not just willy-nilly to get your 5 points. We want you to be actually pre-qualifying them. But yes, point number 7, set a listing appointment. Point number 8, here's an interesting one. Call back 100% of your leads. That's 5 points. Now, if you've been good with your lead follow-up, that's not going to take you forever. For some of you, you're going to repetitively do this point day in and day out till you actually get through all of your leads if you haven't been good on your lead follow-up. So the goal is to have called, and we teach this, there was a radio show about this, 18 relentless lead follow-up rules. So if you're good at it every day, you shouldn't have a problem calling back 100% of your leads daily. And guess what? You get 5 points as a result. So,
well, Julie, it's worth interjecting there. If you do find yourself with a bunch of leads, you have a problem because you're accumulating leads, not setting appointments, and not selling homes. So if you do have more than a handful of leads, then you probably are doing something wrong. You're not qualifying them. You're not actually asking for the appointment. So I want you to, again, consider requesting a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com. Next point, Jules?
All right, next point is number 9, talk to 5 past clients. Notice I did not say attempt to call, but actually talk to 5 past clients. That's 5 points. Point number 10, talk to 5 people from your center of influence. So you can, today's going to be a past client center of influence day, and you're just going to get 5 points after 5 points. Okay, you can do that. You can rack up your points this way. Point number 11, talk to 5 asset managers. Some of you guys are still doing some REO work, but you haven't followed up and you're wondering where your REO inventory is going. You better find out. Some of your asset managers aren't even in the business anymore. It has value to you to know what you're dealing with. Okay. Point number 12, kind of related, get a short sale approval. Many of you are still working on anywhere from a dabbling, 1 or 2 short sales, to 30 or 40% of your business for some of you in some markets. So actually get a short sale approval. Number 13, some of you are doing BPOs, so complete 5 BPOs, 5 points. Number 14, attend a center of influence event. That could be Chamber of Commerce, BNI, many different things. Okay, center of influence event. In other words, you're around new people, new contacts, and add 5 new center of influence contacts to your database. Point number 15, Tim.
Point number 15 is talk to 5 expired listings. That's 5, and when, again, to Julie's point, that's make contact with On the phone ideally, or
contact.
face-to-face is great too, real contacts. 5 different sellers. That's worth a total of 5 points. Number 16, talk to 5 FSBO contacts. That's worth 5 points. Point number 17, send a referral with a signed referral document. That's worth 5 points. Simple enough. Point number 18, receive a referral with a signed referral forms. That's worth 5 points. Point number 19, hold a buyer or seller seminar or webinar. That's worth 5 points. Guys, hello, coaching students, pay attention what I'm about to tell you. The home selling seminars are gold mines right now. We've done a radio show on that. Look for the old radio show. And go to realestatecoachingradio.com and look at the old archival radio shows on that. And also, coaching students, on Real Estate Coaching Essentials, there's a very in-depth drill down on how to do a home buyer and home seller seminar. But coaching clients from around the country are reporting great success doing home selling seminars. Interesting twist. Point number 20, get a price reduction of 5% or more on one of your listings. That's worth 5 points. If you get a price reduction of 5% more on 10 of your listings, that's worth 50 points. You've had a fantastic day. Get it? Point number 21, Julie, this form needs edited. Listen to our Real Estate Coaching Radio show every day. So if you've listened to the radio show, that's worth 5 points. You're listening now, you've got 5 points already. See how easy we made it for you?
Bonus.
So remember, your goal is to earn 50 points each and every day. So let's get rolling with an example. You sell a listing that's worth 5 points. The same day, you pre-qualify a new buyer, 5 points. Buyer signs an agency contract, 5 more points for you, so you've received 15 points so far, but don't kick your feet up on your desk quite yet. Next, you complete 5 BPOs, and you earn 5 more points. You call back 100% of your leads, 5 more points. Because you called those leads back, you also set 1 appointment. That's 5 more points, and now you're up to 30. I think you'll agree that so far you've had a very productive day. Okay, back to work. You decide to work on existing listing inventory, and you get 2 price reductions. These are worth 5 points each. You now have 40 points for the day. Time for lunch. That's right. You've done hypothetically all of that around, but 1 o'clock rolls around. At that point, you are having an exceptionally good day. Again, this is a game. Have fun with this. When you're back at the office, you call 5 more past clients and another 5 points. Oh, here's another thought for you. You had lunch with a past client. That's worth an extra 5 points while you're at lunch. You come back from lunch, you call a past client, 5 more points. You're almost done. You're not quite at 50 yet. You're only up to 45. Time to listen to today's radio show. Now you've got 50 points and you had a fantastic day. I'm going to drill down on this point because it's worth repeating. If you only do one thing and you do one thing well, and let's say you do 3 things well every day. You take a listing, and then basically you put a listing in contract. You set a listing appointment. That in itself makes for a great day for sure. But expand your thinking so that you have great months, not just great days. And you have to think outside of the box. Remember, guys, the whole point of the real estate success game, the whole point of what we're sharing with you today is so that you can not just take care of yourself for the next 30 days financially, but so you're essentially taking care of yourself months and months from now. In most markets, the contact to pay cycle. So you have a conversation today with a buyer, let's say, and that buyer is just getting started. This is what I'm looking for. You follow our pre-qualification script. No, I don't have a lender chosen. No, I don't have any. So, initial conversation type stuff, right? So between that initial conversation and all the stuff that happens in between, got to get to the lender. Lender does their things. You show them properties. You show them more properties, hopefully not too many after that. You put them in contract. You negotiate the contract. You go through the inspections. You go through all the rigmarole and, the occasional drama that's associated with the whole process. The time it takes from that initial conversation to when you show up to closing and you get your paycheck, in most markets, guys, if you actually think about it, is going to be 60 days, and sometimes if there's not enough inventory for sale, it's going to be 90 to 120 days, and that's your best case scenario. When you look at the typical pay cycle for a seller, again, if you're in a hot market, if you call an expired today, and let's say it's before the 10th of the month, right, and you get that house listed and you get it actively in contract within 5 days or less, it is possible that you could have a closing on that listing the following month, but realistically, there's another 30 days. So you have to understand that what you do or don't do today is what's going to determine your tomorrow. And I mean this in a quite practical way with regards to money. So keep that in mind. If you're not experiencing the cash flow that you want to be experiencing today, this month, if February isn't a fantastic or March isn't a fantastic month for you, it's because you weren't doing the right things a few months ago. Make sense? The ups and downs that a lot of us experience in the real estate business, everyone wants cash flow, but what most agents are relegated to are cash spurts. You guys realize that's voluntary? Julie, what's fun is the first time that agents actually are chosen. In other words, they choose them for themselves based on their lack of doing the right thing every day. Isn't that the essence of why we created this real estate success game?
Yeah, absolutely. These are the things that will keep you on track on a daily basis. And I was thinking as we were rattling through those points, Tim, how many agents, if we're all being honest here, how many of you would have stopped after accomplishing 5 or 10 points and called it a day? It's a little be honest.
That's a great question
right there. Okay. And so what if for just this next week, as you're getting used to this concept, you were to make a deal with yourself that you weren't going to stop until, just to get your feet wet, you would get to at least 30 points. Maybe 50 points a day seems stressful to you when you're considering that this is, quote, real work. In other words, the type of work that it takes to make the income that you need. And then the following week, you get to 40 points. But after that, you boost yourself up to 50 points. Curious thing happens, Tim, is that once you get serious about this for just as little as 2 weeks, it takes care of itself, because the fact that you're calling your past clients, your centers of influence, you're pre-qualifying, you're setting appointments, you're doing the things that create work for yourself, you're creating opportunity to get 5 more points and 5 more points and 5 more points, because let's say because you're calling your past clients back diligently every day, that's causing you to have to pre-qualify more people. There's points there. And because you're pre-qualifying more people, and our pre-qualification script ends in making sure you've set an appointment, assuming that they are qualified, then you have listing appointments and buyer appointments. And after you've had your listing appointment, now you might need a price reduction or put it in contract. So the curious thing is, the more serious you are about this, the quicker that you do it, it actually takes care of itself, and you will get yourself into momentum, and your 50 points daily will not really be that much of a struggle. It's almost like your business will start running you, so that you don't have a choice. As long as you're answering your phone and using scripts, you'll start to get into that momentum. And that's really exciting for us as your coaches to see you go from doing okay to doing really rock star.
So the interesting thing on this, when we go through this with folks, is that people want to argue about what the 21 points should be. Some people want us to add other things. They want us to say, well, I should get 5 points for doing fill in the blank. And a few years ago, it was writing a blog post. That used to be the thing. Oh, I wrote a blog post. That should be worth 5 points. Okay, because it took time and it took effort, you think you should get points for it. Or I'm, active on social networks, or I mailed out postcards, or I, did a whole bunch of variety of other things that took up time and in a lot of cases money. The reason they aren't on our list is because they don't lead quick enough to money. So the things that made the 21-point list where you actually get points are the things that we all know, and you know it too, that are going to lead more directly to a paycheck than a lot of the passive stuff. If you guys are doing almost virtually all your time is spent doing passive stuff, waiting for your phone to ring, waiting for the email to come in, waiting for the referral to come in, if that's where your business is coming from and you're wondering why you're not exceeding at the level that you know you can, well, it's just simply for the fact that you're doing just that. You're waiting for the business to come to you. Waiting for the business to come to you in a market like this is, it's absolutely insane, because there's so many folks out there that are ready to buy and sell real estate. So many people that have been fence sitting, waiting for the right time to get back in the market. Sellers who've been waiting for the right time to put their houses for sale. All these different market things that are happening that you could be taking advantage of, but you're spending your time doing, I'm not going to call it the wrong things, but you're spending your time doing things that are going to take longer, if ever, to get you to your desired result. So you've got to really own the idea that your success comes from, here it is again, doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. And that means that you have to put yourself directly in front of as many different potential clients as often as you possibly can, but at least every single morning, You have to make a certain desired number of contacts. You have to be doing the lead follow-up. And any of this passive stuff, and I know a lot of you guys have frankly been misled into believing the passive stuff gets you into the end zone, and it will eventually, but do you really have time to wait for eventually? I mean, it won't with any sort of regularity either. So why don't you make a decision to put these cash spurts behind you? Why don't you just make a decision to finally take your business seriously and frankly, guys, really make this market the most that it could possibly be for you. What the heck are you waiting for? Julie, anything else you'd like to say to these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what we went over today should hopefully simplify things for you. Some of you actually are in your own way. And those of you who are not in your own way and you are going, yeah, I get that. Now that since I've been doing that and I've been really coachable, I get this. You know, some of our coaching clients that have been with us for a while, they're very clear on this and they're already seeing killer results. So for some of you, we realize we're preaching to the choir. For the rest of you, get out of your own way and stop making real estate so hard. Just do the things that work.
That's it. That's right. And, you know, I know that the whole motivational speaker roadshow, Mickey Mouse is in full swing again. I know you guys are being visited by all the traveling circuses. I get that. You got to really, you know, ask yourself why it is that you're attracted to whatever the new whiz-bang idea is when you know in your heart that it's just a gimmick. You've got to stop being attracted to that stuff because if it worked, okay, you would have already figured it out. You know at the end of the day that your long-term success is going to come from embracing the idea that doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. On the other side of that is everything that you want from your business and everything that you will get from it, you know, financially and otherwise, will come from that concept becoming part of who you are. That, and of course, you know, keeping in mind that your highest and best purpose in this business is being of service to others, and learning how to be of service to others comes with the education that we are so happy to be able to provide to so many of you. So, homework from today's radio show. Number one, as always, continue to share this radio show with as many of your friends as possible. We have 100,000 growing regular users. It's the regular listeners. It's the most listened to industry broadcast by a country mile, and that's because of you guys. We certainly appreciate it. Existing coaching students, you guys have to participate on that Facebook group. If you can't find the invitation, ask us, and we'll get you in, or just request on the Facebook page, and we'll get you in. It's Tim and Julie Harris Real Estate Coaching. It's the closed group. We formed it not so long ago, so get participating on that. For the rest of you, request a free coaching call at freecoachingcallsforagents.com, freecoachingcallsforagents.com. In the meantime, we'll talk with you on the radio tomorrow. Have a great day. Get to playing the real estate success game, guys. Have a great day.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows. And until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.